welcome our next team.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to be here to introduce our company, Lifex, to you. And as you can see, Lifex is our company's name, which is also an acronym for 4 different vocabularies: leisure, inspiration, fun, and excitement. And these are the core values that we hope we can bring to our consumers through our services. And first of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm the CEO of Lifex, also the co-founder of this amazing company. And before I start today's presentation, I would like to ask several questions. Have you ever had the experience of couch surfing before? Please raise your hands. So it seems like none of you have this kind of experience before, but that's okay. What if I put it this way? If you are ever interested in this kind of activity, please raise your hands. Wow. So many of you have is interesting in this kind of activities. Can you put your hand raised? Keep your hands raised. Shanna, could you please tell me what kind of factors make you interested in this kind of activities?
Because couch surfing is free, and then once you go to other people's places, then perhaps you guys can chat and to talk about different things.
So price and cultural exchange experience is your main factors.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. No matter what problems you faced before, seems like you've never had this kind of experience before, or you think you might have while you are having the couch surfing maybe later, then we hope that after our business brief, we will solve your problems. So let's take a look at our outline. Our 20 to 25-minute presentation would be divided into 8 parts. And first, I will talk about the first 2 parts, which includes introduction and history. And later, we will talk about our detailed service and the market analysis. And after that, we'll focus on current operation status and branding strategies. And finally, we will show you a successful case, and it'll be our conclusion. And after our conclusion, there will be a Q&A session for about 5 to 8 minutes. If you have any questions during our presentation, please leave your comments and opinions toward them. So now I would like to introduce our co-founders first. As I mentioned, I'm the CEO of this company, Lifex. And then it's our CIO, Colin Zhao. Our CFO, Jimmy Wu. And our COO, Stephen Lin. Okay, so now I would like to talk about the history of our company. Actually, before our company was founded, 4 of us have already been friends. And while we were still studying in the college, Colin, Timmy, and I decided to go on a trip to America. But since we were just college students, so we couldn't afford the prices of hotels in America. So we come up with the idea to contact our friend, Stephen, in America, and asked if he could let us live at his residence during our time in America, and he agreed. So we spent like 10 days in his residence and had a wonderful trip. After this, we decided to turn this idea into business and help more college students who have the same problems with us. So this is the timeline of our company, and you can see that our company was founded in 2010. And 4 months after our company was founded, our headquarters was established in Taipei. And in 2012, our first branch was established in Tokyo. In 2014, we started to cooperate with Uber. And 1 year later, in 2015, we started to cooperate with Michelin and local tour guides. And as for our branches, my partner later will talk more about the details for our branches. And cooperating with local tour guides has also become one of our main services now. This slide is about the revenue between 2010 to 2015. The horizontal axis stands for the time interval between 2010 to 2015, and the vertical axis stands for the revenue in $1 million. As you can see, our company is growing steadily, and in 2012 and in 2014, when we started to establish more branches and to cooperate with different kinds of companies, our revenue grows more rapidly. And after my brief introduction, my partner Colin Zhao, the CIO of Lifex, would introduce more about our detailed services.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Colin Zhao, the CIO of Lifex. Moving on, I'm going to introduce our detailed service. The major service we provide is house exchange. And for that service, we have a website. There are 3 main links for our website. The first link is for travelers. If you wish to experience the house exchange program, then you can click the For Travelers link. And the next link is for people who will want to put up their houses for our customers to choose from. And the last link is for people to register themselves as local guides. If you would like to make friends with foreigners or are interested in experiencing different cultures, then you may want to be engaged in our program. For house renters, you can put up your information of your residence up our website after you register. The information includes photos of your house, the size of your photos of your rooms, size of your house, the facilities you have, and probably some of the requirements that you wish your customers can obey, like no smoking, no pets, etc. And as for the travelers, by clicking the travel link, you can look at all the houses that were put up for our customers to choose. And each house will be rated by our company according to their size and the facilities. And also, former customers will rate if they think the house owners are trustworthy or not. For example, if it's a terrible, terrible, terrible house, like the one on the top, and it's not even trustworthy, then it will be like 1 plus 2 stars, which is 3 stars in total. And if it's an amazing and nice and huge house, like the one on the bottom, and it's really good and it's really trustworthy, then it will be 5 plus 4 stars, which is a 9-star house. And another feature of our website is that during your registration, you can check what you wish to experience during your trip. And then we will have a customized list for you to choose from. This is kind of like an additional service we provide to satisfy our customers and to make their planning easier. For example, if you are going to Japan and you really like sushi and you like the exhilarating feeling of going on roller coasters in amusement parks, then you can type in the keywords sushi and amusement park. Then our website will come up with a lot of different sushi stores and amusement parks for you to choose from. Then you can pick which one you would like to go to. Other services we provide are, we cooperated with some car rental companies, like Uber. And travelers can decide whether or not they would like to rent a car for their trip. And also, you can opt for the local guide. And by clicking on the local guide link, having a local guide has a lot of advantages. And not only is it totally free, but because local guides know where the really good food and the beautiful scenery are in that country. And probably a lot of restaurants are only famous because of the advertising and the commercials. But locals know where to take you to experience the really, really good food. So this is another advantage of our company. These services differentiate us from other house surfing companies. Our customers can both have the experience of house surfing and also release themselves from going into a lot of trouble of finding tour guides and car rentals. Now, let's move on to our market analysis. Our current markets are Taiwan, England, Japan, East America, and Hong Kong. And the reason why we chose these countries as our business's starter countries is because that they're more famous and the tourism there are more vigorous. But as our business gets bigger, we'll consider to include more countries in our program and expand our company to many more other countries. For example, like France, Spain, Korea, countries in South America, etc. We'll start from bigger countries, then move on to smaller countries. And about our competitors. Our major competitors are other house surfing companies and tour groups who locate in many more other countries and have lower price. But because we have more services for customers to choose and we have rating and trust, customers may feel safer if they choose our company. We have a higher credit and thus a lower risk. Now, I would like to finish off my part by explaining our SWOT analysis. First, our strengths. We have a detailed document collection and a high-tech information system. And, as I mentioned before, we have less risk while traveling because we have a higher credit, so a lower risk. Next, our weaknesses. We don't have much capital and stable income from constant customers, and the lack of popularity results in more costs for commercials and advertising. Then our opportunities. There are more and more backpackers these days, so we have more potential customers. And people tend to travel more these days, and they want to spend less but experience more, so they might choose our company. Lastly, our threats. We have several competitors right now, but there are more, as the trend goes on, there will be more and more competitors. So we will have to think of better ways to be bigger and greater than other house surfing companies. That's all for the market analysis. And now the CFO, Jeannie Wu, will continue to explain our current operation status of Lifex.
I'm Yu, the CFO of Lifex. Now I'm going to talk about two parts: our current operation status and branding strategy. And first, let me tell you our charging standard. Our charging standard is according to the rating. And as you can see in table 1, we charge $15 for 1 to 3 stars house. And for the house with 4 to 5 stars, we charge $30. The more stars it has, the higher fees we charge. If you are interested in how many cases we succeed, this is our result. There are 1 million events in 2015, and according to our statistics so far, 10% of our successful cases choose a house with 1 to 3 stars, and for the house with 4 to 5 stars and 6 to 8 stars, each of them have 35%, and with a house with 9 to 10 stars, they have 20%. And let's calculate these numbers. For the house with 1 to 3 stars, $15 times 10% times 1 million events equals $1.5 million. And add all these numbers together, we can get our revenue. It's $6.25 million. But all the situation above is according to the expansion of our undertaking domain. And let me show you our business location in the world. Our headquarters settles in Taipei, Taiwan, and we have branch companies in the big cities in the world, like London, Tokyo, New York, and Hong Kong. And as the establishment of our new branch company, we have 20 employees in Taipei in our headquarters and 5 employees in our each branch companies. Now let's move on to our target customers. People who are between 18 to 40 years old and are willing to experience real local life and travel without spending much money on residence are our target customers. The reason why we chose people who are between 18 to 40 years old is that they are more willing to take adventures and more likely to accept the risk of house exchange. And for the customers of us, is that they can experience real local life, is that they live in the local houses instead of the fancy hotels. And moreover, we're talking about our branding strategy. It's a one-person tour group. Is that we combine different services together and cooperate with local companies. In other words, you can enjoy different services without joining a tour group and paying a rather high fee. Last but not least, we use all kinds of media to marketing. This is a picture of our advertisements on a famous magazine page. And this is Shuqi, a well-known actress, is as our model in our magazine page in 2015. Now let's welcome Stephen, our COO, to introduce a successful case.
Hello, I'm the COO of Lifex, Stephen Lee. Now I'm going to talk about one of our successful cases, which is Sharon's unforgettable vacation. Sharon is from England, and her dream is to traveling all over the world. She has been to lots of places, but never been to Taiwan. One day, her best friend Emma told her how interesting it was to spend her vacation in Taipei. This aroused her curiosity about Taiwan. In 2015, she found our website when browsing on the internet. Since she always wanted to visit Taiwan, she registered as our member and finished her application immediately. She couldn't wait to travel to discover the beauty of Taiwan. Then, she left for Taipei soon. When she arrived at Taipei, she met Jeffrey at the airport. Jeffrey was her local guide and the host of her residency. They went to lots of places in their 5-day trip, such as Yangming Mountain National Park, Keelung Night Market, Jiufen, and National Palace Museum. Everything in Taipei was so fresh to her, and she discovered that Taipei was the most beautiful city she had ever been to. She also found that Jeffrey was an interesting person. She enjoyed chatting and traveling with him. After she returned to the UK, Jeffrey wrote her letters frequently. They talked about their daily lives, their futures, and many things. After that, they even went traveling together by using our website. After visiting Egypt together, Jeffrey fell in love with Sharon, and they got married soon. They celebrated their wedding at Taipei. They wrote us their story and invited us to their wedding. And this is the most beautiful and successful case we have had. Now, let's move on to our conclusion. If you want to travel at low cost, this is Lifex. We can provide you an extraordinary trip with lower cost. If you want to travel with convenience, also visit Lifex. There are many services you can choose from, like Uber, local guide, and many things. And if you want to experience different cultures, also visit Lifex. You can chatting and traveling with local guides, and you can learn many different cultures. And last but not least, if you want to travel to many places, then just visit Lifex. There are many places you can choose from, like Egypt, England, Hong Kong, and Russia. And this is our business brief. Thank you. And now let's move on to our Q&A session. If you have any questions, just feel free to raise your hand.
Any questions? exchange or a house surfing?
We
Our main service is house exchange, so we're not free. You have to pay some money to exchange houses.
So there's no house surfing? Oh, but the main thing that you said was you wanted to learn more about the culture. But I think that by house surfing you can learn more about the culture. I don't know how you can learn about the culture if you're only getting the house.
Because as colleague mentioned, we have like two main links on our websites. Main links. Okay. And three links, but two main links. And two of them are one you can put your house on, and the other is if you want to go to that house, then you can choose it. So for the choosing house to visit part, it's more like couchsurfing. So it's actually one of our services. But it's different from couchsurfing because couchsurfing basically is free. But you need to pay for us because the documents on our website is much more creditable.
Are there any more questions?
Others?
So you've mentioned that they charge based on how many stars a house gets, and the stars are rated by travelers
By our company and by former customers.
or former customers. So is there any standard when rating the stars, or just based on your customers and company's preference?
For the facility part, we will definitely give the stars by ourselves. But for the trust part, then it will based on the experience of the former customers. So this part is just their opinions. It's not like a promise from us.
So how do you define trust? Like, so I mean, like for a traveler, how do I rate the trust part?
Like, if you see on picture it's an amazing house, but you go to that country and found out that the house is terrible, then maybe you don't trust it, so you give it like 1-star trust. Something like that.
Details of the rating will be included in our website.
Any others?
Since you put a lot of emphasis on your credibility, so may I ask how do you make sure that all the services are good? Since you only have the trust rating after customer go to that place.
Do you mean that
So
if
since you have a lot, like a million events, so it means that your workers have been to a million houses and make sure that they are all good places. Since you don't have only 20 employees in Taipei headquarters, so how do you ensure your credibility?
because before our customers go to that house, we have the house owner and our customer have to sign a contract, like promising that their credibility and the facilities are good, the services will be good. They have to sign a contract, and if they obey the contract, then they have to like pay amount of fee. Like when you go out and rent a house, we have to sign a contract with the house owner, sort of like that.
Thank you.
Any others? Sorry, I just want to, I'd like to clarify. So who's going to pay you? The travelers or the house owners?
The travelers. The house owners don't have to pay anything.
So the traveler will need to pay you. So will the house owner receive any payment?
No.
Like most of the couchsurfing internet and web pages on the internet, they don't get paid as provider of the houses. So they're just willing to like
So I mean, so how do you make sure that so they are the house owners? I mean, if maybe they only rent the house, right? But they can pretend to be the house owner.
Yeah, but it will also be included in the contract. So if they've signed the contract, then how to say this, but it ensures that this will be safe enough for the travelers.
Right, but I mean, so they may also try to conceal the fact that they're not the house owners, right? I mean, so they may open their house, maybe for some really negative reasons. So I mean, is there any mechanism through which you can actually make sure that those people are the house owners?
Not really. Only have a contract, but if the customers don't think that there's anything wrong. No, we only have the contract to.
Maybe our employees will go went to their residence and check if the house is theirs. And this is not, we will go frequently, but not.
Not everything.
I mean, usually the police they don't have the duty to check, right? If they own the house, right? I mean, they don't have the authority to do that.
Yeah, but they sign a contract with us. So we have to make sure that the residence it belongs to them.
Right. But I'm saying that the police is not going to do that for you, right?
It's not employee, not police.
The employee.
Yeah.
So how many house owners do you have in Taiwan now?
It's still increasing, so
It's between 300 to 400 now, but it's still.
So that means you will check every property before they're open to visitors.
We're gonna check randomly, not every house.
So that means there could be safety concerns, right? Because you cannot be sure if every house owner is what they claim to be.
Yes. But compared to couch surfing websites, at least we try to make sure that they are true. So we won't provide like a house which is more risky.
Any others?
Can I ask that since the house renter won't have any pay, and they might even get their facilities sabotaged or may get a low trust ratings, so why would they rent their house for free?
It's because they want to experience like different cultures, and maybe they want people to stay at their house and they can travel them or learn something about the country. They just want the experience. They don't want money.
So house exchanging is that you come to my place and I host the whole trip for you. And for free.
Because like
Couch service just basically I provide a couch for you to stay. And when the sun comes up, I just go out.
it's definitely based on a household.
maybe some households will just provide your couch for them, and maybe some householders will want to like make friends with you.
And also in our like website, the house owners can
requirements, like no smoking, no pets, or like no talking to house owners or something like that.
Or you might need to do some housework for that.
You mean like 打工换宿?
Maybe because you can write your own requirements, so people can choose like which house they would like to go to.
See, if they don't have any, like come my house and clean my room, like why should I provide my house and under the risk that might be damaged and I don't get anything if I don't want to make friends?
Then you wouldn't want to provide your house on a website.
I mean, who will provide?
Like those people who want to have the experience.
No. I mean, like some will make friends with and some will not. And the people that will not make friends with them, like they just gave their house for some strangers.
If you don't want to provide your house to strangers, then you won't register.
I just want to know how the supply come, since they don't have any, something to intrigue them.
So maybe could you use the microphone? Right, I think it's kind of right. The fan is loud here.
You mean, sorry? You mean like you don't know what the exact incentives for the house owners to provide the
When I first
houses?
saw the house exchange, I thought that is that I have my house open for rent, then I can go to somebody else's house for free, etc. I mean, I will get something at this because I gave my house for someone for a period of time. And external is just I give my house for someone for a period of time, and I don't get anything.
It's just like most couch surfing services, it's the truth that like they only provide their houses, but they don't get anything. They just want to experience different cultures from different countries. So actually, we're doing the same things, but why we need to pay us is because like we send our employees to different houses to make sure that the house is not risky.
Because I want to ask this because you get paid for that service, and you even verify your payment through stars, but you actually provide the same service for no matter they are 1 star or 5 star. You just provide information, but you verify the houses. You know.
What do you mean by providing information?
Like your service is about provide a website for them to exchange and make sure they are actually house. So no matter that good house or bad house, you just provide information, but you actually have the revenue from if they are a good house. So, but the owner doesn't have any benefit for that. So I feel a little ethic problem about that.
It's like the owners have good house. They are like rare cases. I mean, for like most of the people who give their houses to others, they are not really good houses. So it doesn't stand for a big part of the revenue for us, as you can see in our calculation. So actually, it doesn't matter a lot. If I provide a house with like great facilities, it's just rare cases.
So your credibility is just for that they are stable.
Yes, the credibility part is that, like if it's a bad house, like it doesn't provide with many different kinds of facilities, but if the former travelers go there and at least the information on the internet corresponds to the true situation, then it will still get 5 stars. So it doesn't mean that 5 stars, like the trust part is not like they have really great facilities. Is
Any
it
others?
okay for you? If you still have some problems, maybe I can.
later.
Sorry for that.
Thank you.
Any others? I think just one more question. So what is the language you use for the website?
Now we have English version and Chinese version, but maybe in our maybe like 2 years we will provide like different kind of languages. But we're still working on this part, so we can't give you promise.
Okay, I mean, what if the house owners in Taiwan don't really write in English? So how would they describe their house?
We can translate. Maybe if they wrote in Chinese, we can translate it into English for foreign customers.
Will you charge for translation?
No.
But how about communication with the travelers? I mean, there must be some communication process, right? So you will also translate for the house owners?
When they started to register our website, it would all be like, because we not just have 2 different language versions, so if they successfully register, then they might not have the problem understanding the information that we provide on the internet.
So I mean the house owners should know some English when they register for the
Yes, they,
website?
at least English or Chinese, because we only do the translation now, because our employees are limited, so we don't have much sources for them. But maybe after our expansion, it would be modified.
Right, so, I mean, so you also translate the Q&A between the house owner and the travelers?
Yes. Yes. Our CIO said yes.
Wow. But in others, maybe one more question or comment? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, well then, thank you very much.
Thank you.